Can you hear me if I talk? Yes. Alicia, it's Michelle Zaragoza. I don't know if I can hear her yet. Will I be able to hear her?
Hi.
Hey, I am so excited because I wanted to have you out in the valley for the longest time. And I'm really excited that they were able to book you here. So congratulations. I'm happy.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, girlfriend, you bring it. So yeah, no, I'm really, really excited about this. The good stuff's gonna happen. We're just getting everything. We're very much Zoom. Okay. So we have agents everywhere, like in the valley, here in SAC, and they are definitely excited to watch this. And we are going to put it on YouTube later, and we will tag you, Dollface. Okay.
Okay.
Are you good with that?
I'm good with that. Am I able to share my screen when it comes time?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna. I have a little bit of a presentation we do, and then I'll bring you on. Okay.
And how much time do you want me to spend?
Maybe 45 minutes.
Okay.
I shouldn't take very long.
Okay.
That's good?
Yep, that's good.
Awesome. I'm so excited. Thank you.
Of course.
All right, we're ready. Okay. We're going to start in a little bit. Look how pretty that looks, you guys. But I heard it's going to be hot again next week. So I don't know, do we wear a sweater? Do we not wear a sweater? Do we wear boots yet? I'm all about the boots. So I might just have boots on and ready to roll. So I am trying to figure this out. I don't know. We're getting things wrong. Hey. And going. September, it's gonna be October, Halloween, that's John's favorite, just so we all know. Give me Christmas, give me Thanksgiving, families coming together. I don't need the goblins, guys. I don't need to get dressed up. So I'm sure if John could talk through the Zoom, he'd be like, you better do it, but I'm not, so yeah. So we had a little switching of the guards, as we all know. So Amanda is actually, hey, Barb, hey guys. So we're changing it up. So we're just switching of the guards right now. We're getting things wrong.
Is she going to be presenting on her side?
Yes.
So,
yeah. So we just share the screen with her. This isn't working.
oh, because we got to switch back.
Okay.
So just.
They're almost ready.
There you go.
All right, you guys. So we're going to go ahead and start because I'm leaving starting on time and everybody's time. So first off, hello, lunch is served. There's some pizza outside. You can get it in a little bit. How about it? It's warm. So you guys probably need to get it. But and it is tasty, so I had a slice. Yeah, it was good. So yes, so thank you. Fidelity home warranty chair is awesome. So we would really appreciate her. And it's the other way. I went this way instead of this way. Okay. So what does this mean? Is everybody watching this? Are we making sure we're scrubbing our numbers? I have to tell you guys, we were at a regional meeting and $25,000 was being charged to an office. So we need to really make sure we scrub it. They're even telling us to scrub when we call agents. So we need to be careful. Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. So we just need to be really, really careful. Oh, so yeah. Okay. Okay. I know somebody in here who went through a very good thing this past weekend. That would be you. You want to share?
Yeah, so I am happy to say my third child is now married.
Yeah, yeah.
And so the wedding was this past weekend. It was absolutely fantastic.
Amazing.
And, I can now focus on work.
There you go. Welcome back. Welcome. Yeah. So this is great. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, let's talk about real estate really quick. Anybody have anything exciting about real estate?
I'm getting a listing apartment.
Ooh, I like the listing art. Tell us a little details on it.
It's a 3-1, could use work that has been focused. It'll
There
be
you go.
going live the end of October.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else? New listing? Nope. Okay, we're gonna go really. Okay, just remember this, right? This is what Keller Williams is all about. God, family, and business. Life happens, you guys. And sometimes you just need to take a pause and you need to focus on your family, or you need to focus on going to church. You right? And the cool thing is though, we're still here supporting you, doing this. So you leverage the people around you when you're going through stuff, okay? Integrity. But okay, integrity, what does that do? Do thing when nobody. So important. So like it's the chatter, right? So if somebody starts talking and you don't think it's going in the right direction, you shut it down, right? You shut it down and redirect it if you can. Especially if you're going on a listing presentation and somebody's going the wrong way or they're talking about another agent, or they're talking about a buyer or something. Just redirect it and keep it in a positive tone, if you will, right? Because what you focus on expands. Remember that. All right. Okay, welcome to the family, Rachel. So hello, can you see? So Rachel, this is very exciting. She has a video. Ready with the video? Okay. So I'm going to let her tell you what's going on, because I think it's pretty cool that she sends us a video. So don't look. No, I'm joking. But okay. There we go. This is Rachel. Oh,
Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and I am so excited to be joining Keller Williams as their auditor. I have been auditing for the past 3 years at an independent brokerage in the Lodi area. I look forward to meeting everyone, and if you need to contact me, my information is below.
cute. Okay, this is Rachel. I met Rachel 2018. I helped her get her license. She's just a dog. And she's been doing transaction coordinating and for a small little boutique office who, we merged with them, just saying. And they merged with us, I should say it that way, right? And we are getting signs up pretty soon, just so everybody knows. Do a little grand opening over there and have some fun with that. But she is now doing compliance for all of our files. So she's very, very good, very patient. She's ready. Going to bring it back to me now, huh?
Yeah, you
Okay.
should be good now.
All right. Well, okay, Patrick Vasquez is sponsored by Barbara Zaragoza. He's amazing, and it's her nephew, right? There you
My God.
go. Your godson. Okay, and he's going to bowl, just so you know.
Oh, good.
Yeah, signed him up 2 days ago. Yeah, so very exciting. All right, Jeff Timothy through the stuff. Busy. Desiree Vasquez, 1 case. Christina Gold, 1, Miller, 1, Pam, 1. Tamika, she's done.
That's her first deal.
Oh, no.
It's her third. Oh,
It's her third. Yeah, it's her 3rd deal. So everybody who's watching, who's new, when they talk with us as team leaders, productivity coach, success coach, they're always like, what's the average? How fast can I, da, 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 da. And you're not average. Whatever you put into it is what you're gonna get out of it. Tamika started middle of summer. This is her 3rd one. She has now graduated. Girlfriend, I am so proud of you. And she's going to bowl, just so you guys know. So exciting. Susie close. Yes, and she capped. So very exciting. Cap means she gets 100% of her commissions. All right. We are listening in here. So big news. So listen up. Does everybody know about Amanda? This is exciting. So we are a coaching leadership technology company that just happens to be in real estate, right? So we always want to coach and promote from within, and growth is important, very much so. Okay, so she's gonna be working both offices. We got to give her a break. Right now she's learning, and you know how when you walk into a new office or a new position, you're like, I'm so overwhelmed. So I'm sure she's going through that. So we just got to give her a little bit of a break. But I'm sure she's rocket. Market Center News, I believe we just did that. So this might be some fun stuff. So Ignite is back. It's Monday and Wednesday. Do you want to chat about that? So the cool. Okay, so the cool thing is you're going to learn from other agents who are in the business kicking butt, right? You're not just going to learn from the team leaders. You're not just going to learn from the coaches. You're going to learn from people who are doing the business today. So I encourage you to go, even if you're in business yourself for the last couple of years. It's always nice to see what other people are doing. You take bits and pieces and you make it your own. So I encourage you to go to Ignite. Knowledge is power, you guys. Make sure you go.
Well, and you don't actually have to go, you just have to Zoom.
Oh, yeah. It's Zoom. I already told you all this. We're all about Zoom. And it's recorded from my understanding. So, however, we want you there because the smart people, okay, the smarter ones go because you're going to hear the meeting during the meeting and the meeting after the meeting, and they're all going to be mastermind. And then you're going to have some input. So go. Okay, I went backwards. Yeah. All right, there's a lot here. So family reunion, and that right now Southwest has today's last day. I need to put that on my calendar before I leave. So it's Southwest has some really deals. It's like $80 round trip. $80, and honestly, that's less than going to. Like, it's our. So I can't see it. So I talked about Bold. First step is coming up. It's October 10th. It's right here in Roseville. Everybody was about this coach. He's amazing, and then we got him again. So you guys. So especially the first step is free. Favorite F word, free. So. Okay. All right. Alisha, are you ready to rock and roll, sister?
I'm ready if you guys are.
Okay, so Alisha, I don't think you will know this, but the first time you met me, you won a regional award, and everybody was going, and Eric was still around you. There was no way for me to even talk, but I've been in awe watching your career, and I'm so excited that you are here to share with us. So thank you for taking time out of your busy day.
Of course, I'm so happy and honored that you guys have me here.
All right, I'm gonna let you take it away, okay?
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. So just you guys let me know, can you see my screen?
We can see your screen.
Perfect. Okay, so I love to talk and make this more mastermind. So I just want to make sure you guys can interrupt me anytime you guys want. So I know you guys you're not on Zoom, so you can't do maybe the chat, but please stop me. I know there might be a little delay, but just stop me because I would love this to be an interaction because I feel like we always get more out of it if we are having a conversation. So I don't want to just stand up here or be in front of you guys and talk. I want you guys to get this, I don't bite. So just interact and ask any questions you guys have. So I'm going to get started. Again, I am excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I want to talk about working less and selling more. And what that means to me is going to be different to John versus Debbie versus anybody. So don't think just because I have, and I on purposely didn't put numbers on there because sometimes people think, oh, well, I have to hit this many because this person did. And it's really about what is important to you and why is it important. And if we don't know that, then that's what we need to discover. So I always like to start talking about mindset first. But before I do, I've been in real estate for 17 years, just a little about me. My husband joined real estate about 3 years ago. The last 3 years, we've sold about 250 properties together. Before that was just me and a VA. And I think what she was referring to, the thing I won was I was a solo agent, sold 94 properties by myself, working 4 days a week, and had 2 little ones. I don't work Wednesdays because it's mommy day. And it was challenging. And at the same time, I love trying to balance the two. I say try because there is no like you're balanced and you've achieved it. Just like going to the gym. You don't go 20 times and then like, I got it, I'm done. It's a constant thing of making sure that it fits your lifestyle and what you guys are looking for. So last year I track my days that I work because I really want to be efficient with my time. It's one of my core values, but I also I say all this because I know you guys can do this too. I've been in, with KW for, I think it's almost 9 years now. And when they kept saying life by design, I was like, okay, that's nice, life by design. I wasn't really getting that. And then I realized, oh, it's whatever I want. Because I was seeing all these people on stage and I was thinking, oh, I have to do that and I have to do this, and I have to do this. And yes, we have to do the hard work, but what do you want to do? And how are you going to create your life and make sure that that's what is important to you? So the benefits from what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about, what's holding you back. A lot of times it's our mindset. It's also the story we're telling ourselves. We're usually missing a person in our life, or we're missing a coach or a mentor or somebody like that. So I want to go over who you're missing in your life. Going to talk about priorities, time blocking, and habits. Gary says to change your life, you have to change your identity. To be your future self, you have to believe you are already that person. He said in his masterminds that you have to start acting that way today, even if you're not that person today. So we have to figure that out. So mindset, like I said, it all starts in your mind right now. What are you telling yourself? What is on maybe replay that you've been saying so long that you might not even realize that you've been telling yourself? You might be saying certain stories to yourself that I'm not smart, I can't do this, or I'm not a good salesperson, whatever it is. Having affirmations is super helpful, but then there's still blind spots that you still don't even see and you don't even realize you have those. I've had so many and I'm still uncovering them, because if you don't tell people and don't have coaches and people and surround yourself, sometimes you don't realize you even have them until someone points it out. So the story I want to tell you is, and I know John has heard this story before, but I want to share it. He has to endure my stories again, is for the last 26 years, for 26 years, not just last, for 26 years, I thought for the longest time I was not smart. I believed in my core. I was not book smart. I was street smart. That I was savvy and I can figure things out, but I was genuinely not smart. And the reason that is my parents both didn't go to college. They didn't think that they're smart. They still don't believe that they're smart. And so they always kept telling me at a young age, we're street smart. We're street smart. And they were just trying to encourage me in the best way possible for them, because they both were street smart, but this is their mindset, weren't smart. And so they weren't great at school. And they didn't go to college. They just thought that, but they'll get by in life. They own 3 different businesses. They're very successful. They just have this mindset that they're not smart. So they kind of implied that to their 3 kids. And so for the longest time, I didn't think I was smart. I also had dyslexia and I didn't know it. for 23 or actually it was 26 years in my life, I didn't know I had dyslexia. And so learning was more challenging for me. My husband finally pointed it out to me one day. And once I figured out what that was, then I overcame it with effort and time. And now I read books all the time. And it just was a challenge. But I had multiple things happen in my life that just made me think I wasn't smart because I wasn't looking at all the things that were telling me I was smart. That's just one story I was telling myself. I know we all have stories that we tell ourselves. I would challenge you guys. I want you guys to start thinking about that because I want you guys to get a pen and paper out. You guys can show me, since you're on mute, show me you have a pen and paper. Does everyone have pen and paper? Nice. Okay. I would like you guys to write down, I have 3 questions I want you guys to consider and just think about it. You might not get through all 3 of them, but I'm going to give you about 4 or 5 minutes just to write. You can pick 1 or 2 to write down, but I want you to start thinking about it. So the questions is, what stories are you telling yourself? Or what's holding you back from growing your life and your business? Do you really believe that you can create your life by design? So I'm just going to give you like about 4 minutes. Start writing. Any questions?
No, this is great.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Can you go back? Okay.
Sorry. We have about 1 minute left. Does anyone want to share anything that they wrote down?
By design. I would have to say I didn't think I could ever have a true life by design. And I feel right now I do have one. It might be a little chaotic right now, but it's not as bad as it used to be. How about that? So what I am learning to do through John's great coaching is having success through others. So surround myself with people who can allow me to still keep my life by design. Right. So
yeah, that's beautiful. And it's progress, right? It's not going to look perfect. And when you, and even if you get to that point, it doesn't stay that way. It's like having kids and figuring out finally something that works with your son about getting dressed in the morning and getting them out the door. And then you're like, yes, I figured it out. And then it worked twice, 3 times. Maybe.
right.
You have to keep figuring it out.
Anybody else want to share?
Okay.
I'll share.
Okay, please.
Okay, so my name is Kristen. What's holding me back from growing my life and business enough focus time. I get distracted and I need to kind of set more time blocking for specific tasks and don't vary from those times. It's easy. I'm a loan officer, so I get, oh, you got a fire over here or a call over here. And I think that I need to create more systems and time blocking to focus on growth.
Thank you for sharing. Yes, those are all things I think we all struggle with. Okay. All right. So the 7 circles. If anyone has, I'm sure you guys have seen this before. It's the 7 areas of your life. You have spiritual, health, key relationships, personal life, job, business, and finances. If you guys have a piece of paper in front of you, you can draw a circle and divide that into 7 pieces. So basically, we're looking at your life as a whole. We're kind of zooming out and we're looking at your life as a whole, and we're going to rate it on a scale from 1 to 10. 1 being it's not going well, it's non-existent maybe, or very little. 10 is going to be like you're crushing it in that area. And I know a lot of us high achievers have a hard time ever putting a 10 on a paper, like myself. So maybe if you put a 10, or a 9, that probably means you're a 10. And I encourage you to give yourself grace and to celebrate looking at this. So if you draw out a circle, or if you just want to write the 7 areas and just write a number next to it, any questions on what this means or the exercise that I want you guys just to do before I have you go do it?
No, we're good.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So the common one I usually get is what's the difference between job, just real fast, and business? Is job is the specific role in the organization, even as a business owner, if you have a role in that business. But the business is the one thing for the business that are a part of overall. Does that help? Just in case. But you guys rate yourself from 1 to 10 on those 7 spots, because it's going to help us answer some questions moving forward. And it's where you are now, not where you want to be. Okay, so I think by now you guys should have numbers for each one of those areas. Looking at it, if you actually drew out a circle, how does your circle look? Right? Mine sometimes looks like a flat tire.
It's a little
Sometimes mine looks like a star. But what's very interesting about this exercise is you can do this 6 months later and it's going to look completely different. It's constantly changing, and it's not that you're failing at it. Certain times and certain seasons of your life, you're going to be a 9 or a 10 in maybe your physical health or your key relationships. But then something happens, especially with your physical health. It can change in a minute, and then it's not. So it's about being aware of where you are in that circle. And sometimes we don't zoom out far enough to then look at the circle and go, oh, I didn't even realize I'm not taking care of myself. I'm taking care of everybody else. And what am I actually doing for myself, my personal life, that makes Alisha who Alisha is, so that she can then go and serve and pour into everyone else. And this just helps, like, really look at it and gives you a snapshot. You can dive deeper, but this is a snapshot of your life and what you're doing. So anyone else want to share or have any thoughts around the circles?
Okay. Do you look at it, Alisha, for that balance, right? Because there's always going to be something off. So you've constantly got to keep focus in these types of areas.
So what I do is every year I do this. And sometimes I do it more because I teach the class and sometimes I'll do it again. But every year I look at this during my goal setting retreat in November that I always do with my husband. So I will rate myself then. And then what I do is I take that and I look at it and I ask multiple questions to myself and I go, am I happy with where this is? Is this just a season? Is there something I'm going through because my kid, this is what's challenging with my kid, or maybe, something's changing with health or whatever. So then I look at that. And if I'm not happy with it, I then put it on my calendar and put it on my 411 to make sure that I'm hitting certain things like key relationships. I wanted, my personal life. I wanted to make sure I was pouring back into myself. And one of them was my physical health. So I make sure on my 411, I always have going to the gym 3 times a week. I have thinking time for myself every Friday. I have different things that I put in place to make sure that I'm going to, because if you're not actively doing something about it, you're not intentional with your choices, life will happen and then you're pulled 100 directions and you won't do it. But if you're intentional every single week and you have that on the back of your mind of like, okay, this is what I want, or this is where I am, this is where I want to be, these are the steps to get me there. Does that help? It's not it's easy, yes and no. It is and it's not. It's easy because if you can identify what it is that can just keep that domino moving you to this way, then it's easy. But if you haven't identified what it is, then it seems very hard and the whole world is against you because you're not even clear on what it is that you need to get from here to here. Any other questions or comments about the circle? Okay. Balancing. I have balancing on here because balance, you don't just, like I said earlier, you're not just balanced and you go to the gym once and you're there. I want you guys to think about in your personal life and in your professional life. I do this on purpose, even though we're in real estate, I want to make sure. I want you to think about where you can get leverage on both sides today. Just one thing you can do on both sides that you can focus on and where you're missing leverage on both sides. So I have a couple examples I'm just going to throw out there. This is not a complete list. People come up with really great ideas that that they shout out, but here's a few of them for business. Maybe you're missing a showing agent or a TC or a runner or a Care Bear person. People ask me, what's a Care Bear person? I'm like, it's the person that loves on your clients, like when they have a baby or they handwrite the birthday cards or the anniversaries. On your personal side, maybe you need a babysitter once a month, or maybe it's once a week. For my husband and I, every Wednesday we have date night. So the babysitter, and we were doing that pretty consistent when we started having kids, but then the babysitter was family and it became a little more inconsistent. And so what was the one thing that was holding me back from having date nights with my husband was making that phone call. I didn't want to make the phone call to a family member asking somebody to babysit. And that was it. That was the only thing that was holding back. So I finally was like, okay, I'm just going to there's lots of agents in your office. I asked a bunch of agents that had teenagers, and there was one, and I talked to her. I said, can you be at my house every Wednesday at 5:30 to 7? That was it. And she said, yes, we worked out a time. Does it work out every single time? No, she actually had to, tonight is our date night because yesterday didn't work for her. However, we're getting about 40 dates a year now, which is amazing because then I'm then like able to connect with my husband. If you have small kids and they're, you can't even have a conversation and there's so many activities. That's just one small thing. Maybe it's a house cleaner, maybe it's a shopper, or a cook, or dog walk, whatever it is. Like, what do you need in your life right now that would provide leverage in your personal and your business? I want you guys to write down what it is that you're missing, that you believe you're missing, based on looking at those circles that you just filled out. Take about 2 minutes and just write it down. Don't overthink it. Oh, one more caveat. Just because one of the circles is low doesn't mean that's the one that you think you have to do. Don't think that it's impossible to have a perfect circle. You're not going to have a perfect circle, and that's okay. Again, there's seasons. So if one's super low and you feel like I'm failing in that area, are you okay with failing in that? Let me change that. Sorry. Are you okay with it being that way? You're not failing. You're choosing to focus on certain areas. So which areas do you want to get leverage in? Sorry, go ahead. Can you guys write that down? Put next strip by when you're going to get that. It might be simple. It might be a simple phone call or a text for a babysitter, for example. And you just put that on your calendar. It might be something more intense, like I'm going to hire an assistant. That's going to take time. But by when are you going to get that in place? And then last is, why is this important to you? If you can't answer why it's important to you, then most likely you're probably not going to follow through with the actions, because it needs to be something that you're really passionate about and that's really important to you. So does anyone want to share what leverage they're wanting to get in one of the areas or in both?
would to get a nanny for my kids.
You broke up. I'm sorry, what?
Actually, and between church and like some that is going to give that, because my daughter's but some school extra stuff just to, so I have a day into 24.
Okay, I got half of that. I'm so sorry. It's breaking up really bad. So I got about half of what you said. So thank you for sharing. I couldn't hear all of it. I apologize. Can you guys hear me clearly? John's saying yes.
Sorry about that. The Wi-Fi keeps going out. We apologize.
Okay. I just feel bad because I didn't hear everything she said. She was talking about her kids. I couldn't get everything. So sorry. But you shared, and I appreciate you sharing. And I apologize.
You might want to share.
Yeah. Can you hear now? So
Yes.
okay. So I would like to hire a nanny within the next couple of months to just help take care of my kids with homeschooling, running them to practices, that sort of thing, because that takes up so much time. Then I don't have to work in the car. I could probably get a little bit more done and stay focused.
Yes. That sounds great. So yeah. Do you have a by when you want that?
I like that.
Holidays are coming up. Let's say January.
Okay. January. Perfect. I mean, it's up to you. Finding that person can take time too. So it might be a small little action that you do is maybe you ask, put it out there in your guys' Facebook groups, mom groups, or different groups to say, hey, I'm looking for a nanny for this time. Who do you guys love? It might be as simple as that. And then just keep doing that. and put it on your calendar, maybe just to try to do that once every 2 weeks, just to keep asking. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else want to share?
Mine is a house cleaner. I would like a house cleaner. Seriously, I feel like it's a constant, like I clean and then, 5 hours later I have to clean again. And so if I had somebody coming in once every other week or so doing some things that I don't consistently do, that would
Yep.
make my life so much easier. And I also get stressed out when I go to home and it's, not the way I want it to be. And then, that makes me feel depressed and sad and then negative feelings. So if I can lessen the negative feelings by having someone help me with that, then that would be a great thing.
Preach it. I love it. Yes, absolutely. And you might know who that person is already, because it might be somebody that cleans some of your houses for your clients, or someone in the office loves their person. So that could be a simple text and just interviewing a couple of people. And then that's also then a resource you can offer to your clients if you love that person and you're using them. Thank you for sharing. Okay. So, I mean, life is all about choices. We get to decide which way we're going to go down. So you can't have it all, because life offers too much. You can't know it all, because there's too much. I mean, there's thousands of books produced every year. Like, there's no way you can know it all. You can't have it all because there's too much, and you can't do it all because life just offers so much, and our time is so limited. So we just have to make our choices and what we do meaningful. So, the One Thing book, if you haven't read it, it's a phenomenal book, all about lining up your dominoes and making sure that you take all of the other stuff, the 80%, and if you can delegate that out and just focus on your 20%, you guys will get so much further. And time blocking. It's so easy to get distracted and have people come in. So there's 3 lies that they talk about in the One Thing book. And so one of the lies is that everything matters equally. We know that's not true. However, sometimes it's easy just to say, okay, well, I'll just make that flyer real fast because it needs to be done, or I'll just go run that lockbox over. But really, that's probably like a $15, $20 hour job versus what is making you the money. What's the 20% that you should be focusing on? Gary Keller in his office has this up. It says, until my number one priority is done, everything else is a distraction. Could you imagine if we just lived by this alone? How much more we would get done? It's so easy to be distracted in this world. We have cell phones that are connected then to our computer, that are connected to our watch, that are constantly ding, 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 ding. I've turned off all of my sound for my watch and my phone because it's just too much all the time. So one way, when you get overwhelmed and you don't know, sometimes my husband's in the next door office. Sometimes I'll just be like, it's too much. There's just too much to do. You don't even know. And I'll just do that. And I'll just pace because of that. There's just so much happening. But one way to just figure out real fast, what is important to do that day, if you get so overwhelmed, is called taking a to-do list and making it a success list. Basically what that is if you think about it, what is everything you need to get done between now and Friday at 5 o'clock? If you write everything down, got to get gas, got to show houses, got to pick up the kids, there's soccer practice, there's date night, there's whatever it is, you can write on and on and on. That list will be a lot. You're going to go to bed, you're going to make dinner, you're going to do all this stuff. You make the list. Then what you do is you look at that list and you really think about and say, okay, what's the one thing that if I did that, it would make everything else easier or unnecessary? What's the thing I actually have to do that if I don't do it, it's going to be if you don't pick up your kid from school, you have to pick up your kid. We get that. So put a star next to it. Don't leave anyone in practice, but put a star next to it. So then If you write out the whole list, you put stars next to it, then you take all the stars and you move it over and then itemize it. 1, 2, 3, 4, like what's the most important thing? And once I do that, then I've earned the right to go to the next, and then go to the next. And of course, if there's a kid in there somewhere, you have to, even if you don't get it done, you still have to go pick them up and then come back and do the thing. But it's making sure you realize what's important, because everything isn't equal. Getting gas is important if you can't pick up your kid. But if you're on halfway, you don't need to go get them. Line number 2 is multitasking. We're all guilty of this. I think this world is always telling us, oh, if you multitask, that's amazing. But really, in reality, you lose 28% of your time. 28% of your day goes down the drain when you're merely multitasking, because Steve says it really well. He says multitasking is merely the opportunity to screw up more than one thing at a time. It's 100% true. My husband screwed up the other day and he's like multitasking. And what I said was, at least the text that went out was the mistake you made and not driving. Like, don't get in a car accident because of texting. He was voice texting, but it went to the wrong group, the wrong thing. And that's okay. We've all been there, all done that. But just making sure that you guys like don't multitask. This is going back to the time blocking. How many times does people come into your office and say, do you got a sec? Or that phone call comes in, you answer the phone thinking, oh, this will take 2 minutes. And you're right in the middle of an email to a client about a request for repair. You're going back and forth. And then all of a sudden you go, oh yeah, I'll just answer that real fast. So you pick it up, you take that distraction when you're in the middle, or maybe you're lead gen, you're taking that distraction, knowing that does nothing to do with it. Take the distraction, answer the questions, even if it takes 2 minutes, you put it back down. How long does it take you to figure out what you're doing? Sometimes I'm like, what was I even doing? Other times, if it's the email in front of you, can you just continue in the middle of that sentence? I have to go to the top and start and read over and then continue. So you're redoing the work that you've already done because you got distracted. And if you've ever been in that flow state where you're like, I'm just getting stuff done and it's just flowing and you're going, and you lose that because someone comes in or your phone rings and you answers it, like you might not get back in that flow state. It's done for the day. So making sure that when you do your lead gen in the morning, and I have so many people say like, I can't do 3 hours lead gen. Fine, don't do 3 hours. That's fine. What can you do? I was talking to another agent that was beating herself up because she was having a hard time coming back from May camp, seeing people up there, and said, oh yeah, 3 hours. And there was multiple people in her office that do that. That's great for them. I said, what works for you? Like, what can you do? We got it down and we narrowed it and we kept narrowing it. And I checked in with her and she's like, it's going so much better. She goes, I just feel like I have ADD and I love talking to people, but I can't spend 3 hours cooped up in an office. I said, well, what can you do? It's all about what you can do. And I said, what are you doing now? And she was like, I'm not doing it, or I'm only doing like very, very little, whatever it was. I said, can you do this? And we figured out a number. She stuck with it. She goes, but it's not 3 hours. And I said, okay, but if you did this number, we're just going to say it's an hour. If you just did an hour every day, like you said, where will your life be in 1 year from now? Because you're not doing it currently. Like, what would your business life look like? She goes, oh, I would have so much more, business. I know I would, because I'd be talking to this many people. I'm like, okay, then stop comparing yourself to somebody else. Like, whatever it is that you want to do, again, life by design. And I said, and just do the days you work. If you're working 5 days a week, great, then that's 5 hours or 30 minutes, or maybe you talk to 10 people, whatever it is that I used to have 40 paper clips on the left side of my desk, and the 40 paper clips had to end up on the right side of my desk for me to talk to 40 people that week. I've done different things because I do get bored of doing lead gen too. Everyone does. And How can you make it a game? How can you be successful? It looks different than for everyone. And the type of lead gen that you do looks different than the person sitting next to you. So the third lie is a disciplined life. People say like, oh, that person's disciplined. You know, if I was just more disciplined like David, or more disciplined by this person, then I got a lot more done. But it's not always about that. You don't always have the willpower. There's certain days you're not going to have that. It's about being appropriate in the moment. And that's where your habits come in. That's where your 411 comes in. Because if you create the priorities and the habits, then it feels weird not doing them. So you don't have to rely on your discipline, like being disciplined. It's not always there. People look at me and they're like, oh, you're so consistent. It's like, yeah, sometimes I'm not. I'll tell myself just to get through the day, I'll just say, if I make this many phone calls, I'm going to leave. I get to leave. And I'm not going to stay here the rest of the day. And that's okay. And this isn't about not working. So don't worry, John, I'm not trying to get everyone to leave work and not do this. That's not my point here. Everyone, I want you to think about, what do you want? For me, that's what it is. I go to the gym in the morning freakishly early. And I will sit there, I'll go home and I'll take a nap. I'll tell myself that just to make it through the workout for 60 minutes. But I don't go back home and take a nap. However, it's whatever you need to tell yourself to just get through it. Just keep showing up. If you just keep showing up and you know what you need to do, you're not going to be perfect at it. And that's okay. It's just making sure you keep going in the right direction. So people don't decide their futures. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their future. That really is 100% true. So I know we're running.
That is so good. I love that saying.
Oh, I know. Me too. It is such a good saying. Typically right now, I usually walk you guys through 2 mornings. But basically, what I usually go is it's creating habits. You can have a day that you just let life take you by, or you can have an intentional day. You get to choose every morning how that looks. And trust me, I've had the days that I chose to sleep in, the days that the kids get up and then I'm screaming and yelling, get dressed, we gotta go, it's gonna be late, crying over not wanting to wear a shirt to school. You have to wear a shirt to school, different things like that. I've had those days, and I've also had the other days where it is so peaceful in the morning and I'm drinking my tea after working out and it's pure silence, and just be intentional with your life and moving it forward. Yes, things will come up, but how much more peaceful will you be at if you start your mornings right with the correct habits? I used to not be a morning person. I now get up at 4 in the morning a couple days a week to go to the gym at 4:30 and get done at 5:30. I know I'm crazy, but it was the one thing I could do for myself that got me to where I'm now at peace most days. Not perfect. My child drives me crazy, but I'm still showing up every day. So, a habit. I want you guys to think of a habit of something you can do that can create more peace in your life in the morning, starting your morning off right. If you guys haven't read Morning Miracle, or if you haven't read the 5 a.m. book club, either one of these, they're both really great books for morning routine. Okay, so these 2 are the ones I would recommend highly. Of course, the one thing. Another really, 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 really great book is one of my absolute favorite is James Clear wrote Atomic Habits. It's one of my favorite books. This guy is a genius. You want to start flossing. The simple task that he did was put his floss on his toothbrush. That's it. Sometimes it's the most simplest things and it becomes a habit. Habit takes on average 66 days. However, some of them are like this. Some of them I did for 66 days. I did 75 hard for 75 days. And then I'm like, nope, never again. And I still took pieces from that. And they've stuck with me. So again, life by design, what can you do to create a good habit to start off your day? Because it's really about winning the morning. Gary says it all the time, and it really is true, because your day goes sideways get a call from school. Who knows what it is? You guys probably think my kids are crazy the way I talk about them. One is a little, but that's okay. He's going through a stage. So yes, anyone want to share what habit they want to implement? And it doesn't have to be on this list.
I want to implement getting up early because my other half gets up about 2 to 3 hours earlier than I do, and I've been wanting to get up when he gets up, but I'm like, no, I'm just gonna sleep a little bit more, and then I sleep too much. So getting up early is definitely what I want to start doing.
Perfect. Then you pick a time, put your alarm. Yes, it's amazing. Honestly, I was the one that rolled out of bed, got in a shower, and I had like maybe an hour when I rolled out of bed to get everyone and myself and everyone out the door. It really wasn't smooth. It just made me a crazy person. So
Mine would be meal prepping because I have to eat or I get hangry. And I'm not like an angry person, but I lose focus and that kind of stuff. And then it's just like, that's all I can think about. And so that would be a good thing for me because it would help with overall function.
yeah, that's good that you're not angry. I have a hangry son that I had no idea what that was. And I would put food on a plate, slide it on the floor and walk away. It was so bad. So he's gotten a little better, but he's still hangry. Meal prepping, honestly, was one of the biggest things that changed my life. I know that sounds really weird. I make 3 meals on Saturday. And yes, it takes about 3 to 4 hours. My husband goes shopping, or you can do Instacart. I spend about 3 to 4 hours on Saturday. I cook all the meals. I put them all in containers. So I was gonna say my food's over there. All the containers is for lunch and dinner for my husband and I. I don't cook another meal the whole week, most of the time.
Wow.
I really don't. And it honestly, I come home, I don't have to worry about like, what are we having for dinner? Or what do I have to cook and then I have to do the dishes and clean. There's also companies out there that you can, they'll have them already made. They can be delivered to your house on a Saturday and you can order them the week before. I've done some of that just for some healthy meals. I make really healthy meals as well, but I know that's a big jump and people think that's overwhelming, but sometimes, especially in the fall, you can have a soup in a crock pot. You can have spaghetti sauce in Instapot, or the other way around. You can, or chili, you can have, I mean, and you can freeze a lot of stuff. So I do stuff like that because I don't want to cook. And I only have like, what, 3 hours with my kids before they go to bed at night. And I don't want to do it cooking and cleaning. It's the last thing I want to do. That's life-changing. So
that might be something I will implement one day. I don't know if that's something I can do right now because of my mom and everything, but that's something that would make life easier.
yeah, and I tell people you don't have to do all like me. You don't have to do 3 meals. Again, don't compare yourself. Like maybe you just make a really big meal and you freeze half of it for next week, and then you make another meal.
Already, like a spaghetti or something like that. Awesome.
Yeah. So I love the 411. I'm obsessed with it. I look at it every single day. So if you don't or never had gone through this, John, I'm sure can go through this with you. It's such a good tool, guys. I used to look at this as like, oh, just another accountability. It's just one more thing I have to talk to my coach about, or this person or mentor or whatever, and I'm not hitting it. Try to look at it different. Like maybe the right things aren't on there, or maybe you don't have a personal side on there. Maybe it's like thinking time or date night. Like add some fun things in there. Like maybe you're going on a lunch date with a client that is a friend that you can put on the business side, whatever it is, put it on there, the most important thing. This one's a couple years old, or maybe it's not, maybe it was last year, I don't know, the year before. I don't really remember. Took a screenshot a while ago. Really weird things. I see buy workout gloves. I was doing a Spartan race. Anyways, there is just an idea. I took the 411, added columns on the right hand side to add what was important to me, which was reading books, trips, because I love trips, and teaching and date nights, workouts. So if you can see at the time, I had 32 date nights, I had 100 workouts, and a lead gen, 117 hours. It was in September. Oh, you know what? Very close to this year. Okay. Yeah, there you go. And 44 books that I read, and I named them all because I wanted to, and then I got intentional about like which ones I wanted to read. Now I'm reading like parenting ones and, you know, different areas that I need help to raise strong emotional boys. I need to read a book about it because I was surrounded by girls my whole life. So, one other thing about me, if you guys don't know, I am the KW Wellness Director of Growth. If you guys have not heard of KW Wellness, we are a new community that we started in March. And so we got to announce it at Family Reunion. We're up to over 1,000 members already. It's such an amazing place to talk about the 7 pillars. We talk about is physical, or mental, or emotional, social, spiritual, environmental, and occupational. So you can join us on Facebook. You can join us by clicking into this. There's a free version. There is an agent version. There's a leadership version. We're going on a yoga retreat in a month in Arizona. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we just have a lot of really cool, awesome things in this group. Would love to see you guys there, and just at least join. If you join the free one, you get a newsletter. You get to see what we're doing. We offer free things like a nutrition that comes on. We were just talking about the Blue Zone actually this week about the way to eat and what different things and how people live longer. And so it's not just always about like, oh, lose weight, do this. We also talk a lot about mental and physical. So if you guys want to, you can always scan that. But before I go, any ahas? I know it ends at noon. So any ahas or any questions you guys have for me?
I thought it was really interesting how you brought up the 411. Is John still on here?
Yes.
Because that's something that I wasn't passionate about until I came here. I was always about the GPS because it was more action, and I'm about action and listen, process it off, right? And it's so interesting that you brought up the 411 as well. So I guess I got to start. I got to start loving the 411.
You have to love. No, you don't have to love the 411. However, it really is an amazing tool just to,
Right.
If you look at every week, it's the dominoes that get you to where you want to go. And that's
right.
Just look at it as the journey for the year of where you want to go. So,
right. That's interesting. Thank you. I appreciate that. John, I appreciate that.
Alisha, I just want to thank you too. Your love of the one thing, I love the one thing as well. I can tell you a lot of my success when you talk about habits and those sort of things. I went on that similar journey as you did, like, oh, I gotta fix my morning, otherwise my habits don't work, right? And, and all those same journeys, and eventually getting to the 411. I hated the 411, and then now I do a 411. My coach sees it. We go over it every time, and I make everyone who reports to me do a 411 because it really moves me forward. So I just encourage you. This is a journey. It's a journey. Give yourself grace. You will. Heck, today was bad. My daughter went sideways on me, and I'm not at work, right? So literally, but I'm Grace. I'm here on the call. I'm here. I plan to be in the meeting in person, but I'm here now, and that's okay, right? So give yourself grace. Yeah. So.
And again, I would never have known that if you didn't share that. So many times we think in our head like we're not acting or showing up perfectly. Like, or I was challenged to do a different kind of we do drop-bys and events and stuff, and I was challenged to do one by Jason and Jay and stuff, and they were saying like, you need to do something. What are you doing? Something that's needed by your clients and meaningful, or are you just doing pies and doing all these things, which those are good, but are you actually doing something that's meaningful? And I was like looking at all mine, because this is my year. I'm kind of crazy. I put it out the year before, like I put every month to make sure I have different drop-bys and touches throughout the entire year. We can do from like 36 to like 50 touches or 70 touches, depending on where you are with us. And so I looked at it, I'm like, needed and meaningful gift. Like, I don't see anything in here. And so I know it sounds crazy, I'm going off topic, but we have a new service in our area. We're a smaller town that they come and clean trash cans for you. It's like a service that you can come every month or every quarter. So it's a brand new business. So I called the business and I said, hey, I'm going to offer this to my clients. They gave it to me at half price. So I started calling them. The first call, I was like stumbling over. I'm like, do you want your trash can clean? I was like, this sounds terrible. So again, the client said yes, and they don't care, and they're your top client. So we get in our head so much, it doesn't even matter. Just have a conversation with them.
Exactly.
I know. Anyways, yeah. Any other questions or anything else, you guys? I really appreciate you know, having me on. This was fun.
Alicia, thank
If
you.
you need help building a 411, I'm happy to help as well. So
Oh, good.
Well,
Yay. John's going to be the 411 guy.
Oh, he's the 411 king, apparently. So yes,
Good.
yes, yeah. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. And we're looking forward to having you again. So be ready for a phone call, probably like maybe the second quarter of next year, okay? We'll see you
Sounds
at
perfect.
reunion.
Yes, for sure.
Are you on a panel? Do you know?
They don't pick panels until usually November-ish.
Okay, well, there you have
That
it.
I know of. I think it's November, so no. But I plan to be there because I'm also going to be with KW Wellness, so I'll be at the booth and everything there too. So yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much, and you have a great day, okay?
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What do you guys think?
Thank you.